Hello people of the internet, this is Mela and welcome back to another Sharkbite video. And in this video, what I'm going to be showing you is what I think are the best boats in the game. So when you make a purchase on Sharkbite, you probably want to have a little look at which boats are good, because it takes a while to get teeth and some boats are really expensive and some aren't very worth it, to be honest. But yeah, let's get right into the top 5 boats in Sharkbite. So the boat coming in at number 5 has to be the Golden Speedboat. Now, I'd rank this much higher if it wasn't so hard to get, but this boat, I think it's really good because it's pretty manoeuvrable and it doesn't flip as much as other boats. Like, I think it's a Spectre, it flips a lot. So it's got the speed, kind of, and it's got a little cannon on top that shoots really fast. And in addition to that, it's easy to control, so I don't see why you could go wrong with this boat if you do eventually get it. But in my opinion, I think there are better boats out there that can help you survive more in more shark attacks and against different sharks. Because to a shark like a mosasaur or something, this boat's pretty easy to get, and you don't really have many options if the shark's coming towards you and if it's faster than the boat. So in my opinion, I think it's better boats, and that's why I put this boat at number 5. Here's a cannon in action, if any of you are curious of how good the cannon is. I think it's quite a good weapon to use against a shark, in my opinion, but it can get quite hard to aim, especially when it comes to behind you, because it can't actually shoot behind you. So I think there's better weapons that you can use, and don't get me wrong, you can use weapons on top of actually shooting a shark. As you can see, it does quite a bit of damage. See, this is a chest chase, but yeah, as you can see, there's quite a bit of damage done to the shark. But there are weapons that do even more damage, and also you have to the shark has to be quite predictable in where it's going, as you can see. But if it is, you do a lot of damage, so I guess this boat's pretty good if you want to do damage as well, because you can actually use other weapons on top of that, as you can see. So yeah. So coming in at number 4, it has to be the Titanic. The Titanic, it is a very durable boat. Like, if a shark brings you down, you've also got loads of debris at the bottom, which you can just stand on, and on top of that, you don't release any particles when you stand on it as well. So it can be quite hard for the shark to actually find you once the boat's been ripped apart by the shark itself. But the only thing about this boat is that it's really slow, barely maneuverable. As you can see, it takes a long time for it to turn. And in addition to that, if a shark gets in the bottom here, it can easily stop the boat. Like, I've had times where the sharks came along, just plopped itself in there, and then I can't move. Now, one time the boat did actually glitch, and I went really fast backwards, but I don't know how that happened yet. So until I find out that, and try and find out how to do that, then I can't really say much about that. But I think this boat is quite good for survivability. When it comes to the mosasaur, however, it can kind of rip the boat apart really fast. So I'd say you'd be relying on the debris a lot more than the actual boat itself, which is pretty good, but it leaves you quite vulnerable. Also about this boat, you can't shoot from the driver's seat. So basically, if I've got these rockets, you can only shoot in front of you, really. Like, if you try and shoot behind you, nothing really happens. So it's you can't really fight the shark itself unless you jump out and just have a stationary Titanic, which it would be pretty good because you'll have a lot more debris to rely on if the shark does take the boat apart. But I don't think it'd be as good if you have a mosasaur against you, because to be honest, them things can just fly out the water and come straight for the sea itself. So it can be a bit of a nightmare to fight the mosasaur in this. As for most other boats though, because the mosasaur is just broken. I think this boat is pretty fun, however, because you can get a lot of a lobby in this. You can basically have a Titanic mode and a normal mode, which can be pretty fun if you're just driving around and you have everyone on the side shooting the shark. But nonetheless, it's a pretty good boat, but I don't think it should be placed any higher. I didn't see here, there's a lot of people asking to go on the Titanic. It's loads of people. Even the Shark wants to jump on, but I don't know if that'd be good. But yeah, there's a lot of people wanting to come on, and typically a lot of people do want to go on the Titanic because it's a really good boat and not many people have it. So yeah, on to number 3. So for number 3, I've chosen the Spectre. Now I've chosen the Spectre for number 3 because it's a pretty fun boat. Like it does flip around pretty easily, but if you're on with friends, that can be a pretty good sight to see. It can be pretty funny, and also it's got quite a bit of room to actually shoot out of. You have got the back of the seats that does stop you, but it's a lot better than a boat like the Titanic. Now in terms of survivability, I don't think this boat's as good as the Titanic because don't get me wrong, it's pretty fast. It can outrun the normal Shark. It just flips over quite easily, and if you make a sharp turn or run into something, then you're more than likely going to start losing control of the boat. But you can make pretty sharp turns, as you can see. It's just if you run into the side or something when you're shooting a Shark, it can mess you up, and it can basically jeopardize the game for you if the Shark knows what they're doing, of course. Other than that, this boat is pretty good. It's a really good boat actually, and you can shoot out of it quite a bit, as you can see. So you can get extra teeth from doing that. So it can outrun the Shark, as you can see, and it's just a really good boat, yeah. In terms of survivability though, this wouldn't go as high as it is now, but this top 5 is just about the boat itself overall. So yeah, also I'd just like to say for this boat, when you're shooting out of it, as you can see here, when I'm using the GIF launcher, the shots are much more uniform when I'm shooting out through the passenger side. So it might be something to note when you're actually shooting a Shark. As you can see, it's a bit messy if I shoot out that way, but if I shoot it out the other way, it is a lot better. So it's just something to note in case you do decide to get this boat. Let's go to number 2. Well, wasn't expecting to never join in any games anytime soon. So coming in at number 2, it has to be the Stealth Boat. Stealth Boat is a really fun boat. It's one of my favourite boats actually, and it's mainly because you can fly. Now, being able to fly in this boat, it's just a lot of fun to do because you can jump over sharks, you can go really fast, and it's just overall a really good boat. Now, this boat, it has got a cannon on the top, but it isn't as good as the Golden Boat cannon. It is a good boat, but I barely use the cannon, so I'd recommend just getting this boat for the fun of it. And also, you can get quite a few teeth because you do win most of the matches, solely because you can fly. Now there are times where I flew directly into the shark's mouth, so you might have to be careful if you want to jump about in this. As you can see, you can go really fast. Heard the shark and I can just fly away, which is really good in this boat because it helps you survive, but you can also kill the sharks. In terms of shooting out of it, as you can see, this struggles a bit, but you have got the cannon on top if you want to shoot the sharks anyway. And one other reason why this boat is at number 2 is because it can relatively consistently take out the Mosasaur itself. Now, I wouldn't say it'd be taking out the Mosasaur, but it's more like surviving against the Mosasaur. But you can get teeth from Mosasaurs if you really want to beat the Mosasaurs that badly, unless the Mosasaurs know how to get you. But I do have a video covering how to survive Mosasaurs in this boat, so be sure to check that out. So let's see what took the number 1 spot. So the number 1 spot has to go to the jet ski. The jet ski is maneuverable, it's fast, you can shoot basically anywhere from it, and it's really fun. So it's small as well, so you can easily outmaneuver the shark without it taking a little nibble from you. And it's just a really good boat. As you can see, the destroyer's getting destroyed. But say if I wanted to outmaneuver the shark, I can. I've survived against hammerheads in this. Keep in mind the hammerheads are pretty fast compared to this. But if you're able to move to the side on time without overturning, then you can dodge sharks like that. I've done it to the Mosasaur once, which isn't that much compared to the amount of times I could have done it, but it's more of a luck thing when it comes to the Mosasaur, because as I said, the Mosasaur's broken. Now I put this over the stealth boat mainly because to defeat the stealth boats, to defeat the Mosasaur in the stealth boat, it isn't very fun. And in this, it's basically packed with action. You dodge the sharks, you shoot them a few times, reload, you keep dodging the sharks. You can see I've got another shark after me. When the shark does boost, you might have to move to the side from time to time. You can see the shark down there. There it is. So, as you can see, the shark's after me, but if it came boosting at me, I can just quickly turn to the right or left, and the shark just wouldn't expect it. I just find this boat probably the most fun boat in the game, which is why I put it at number 1. Because this is the main boat that I've used to actually kill the sharks and to progress through the game and get the teeth. So I'd highly recommend using this boat, or getting this boat, because it's also really cheap. Now this works in any jet ski. You can get the pink, you can get the green, it doesn't matter, both of them work. But I wouldn't recommend using the banana one in replacement for this, because it's lacking as much maneuverability, and also the back part on it can kind of pull you back a bit and makes you lose mobility, which isn't a very good thing. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this shark off, and there we go. That's why I think the jet ski is the best boat in the game. So thank you for watching. Be sure to interact with this video, like, leave a comment, and perhaps subscribe if you want more content like this. And I will see you in another video.